Guns allowed in Tennessee classrooms. The Tennessee State Senate has passed a bill that allows teachers to be armed. I'm going to say that again. The Tennessee State Senate has passed a bill that allows teachers to be armed in a vote that went 26-5 only in Tennessee. 1325, Bill 1325 was passed, which grants teachers permission to carry concealed handguns on school grounds without having to notify any of their colleagues, without having to notify any of their parents. Now, the legislation is aimed to deter possible school shooters from attacking, from coming to school with weapons, from shooting up the school. But protesters have been loud in saying that this would only make schools less safe. And what's needed is gun restrictions, not looser gun laws. Amongst these protesters are the families of victims from last year's shooting at Covenant School in Nashville. It was an ugly shooting. The bill requires teachers to have a handgun carry permit and to have written permission from the school principal and from the local police. These educators will also get 40 hours of training and a clear background check. Now, you should already have a clear background check before you even become a public school teacher. But now they're saying you need 40 hours of training. I like the idea of training for a weapon. I think anybody who carries a gun, and I believe people should be allowed to carry guns, anybody who carries a gun should be forced to get training. I own guns. I ain't got near training lesson mandatory put on me. Any training I have is because I just wanted to be trained because I wanted to be good at it. But my point is, it is quite easy to get a gun and not be trained. And now they want to put teachers, even with 40 hours of training, in a position where they can walk around carrying a gun, a concealed gun. You ain't got to tell nobody. That scares me for multiple reasons. One, if somebody shoots up the school, if somebody shows up with an AK or whatever and wants to shoot up the school, it's unlikely that a few armed teachers are going to be able to take them down. The whole good guy with the gun beats the bad guy with a gun thing is Second Amendment, NRA, Charlton Heston mythology. The second thing is, people with guns, you see this in home invasions or just robberies in general. People who have guns often get guns taken from them. If you work in a school that's so rough or so dangerous that you think you need a concealed weapon, then there's a good chance that the people who you're afraid of might not be afraid of you, and they might take your weapon. The other thing here is we live in a world, in a country more specifically, with extraordinary amounts of racism. Everywhere you look, Black people are overcharged. Black people get longer sentences. Black people pay more for the same stuff. Black people have the same credit score and don't get the same interest rates. Black people die more at birth. Black people don't live as long. And guess what? Black people get shot by the police. And if you walk into a school and the teacher has a concealed permit, there's no reason to believe that the teacher is going to be any different. If you look at all the data, Black kids get suspended more. Black kids get expelled more. Black people get detentions more. So schools are already following the same scripts for Black people that the rest of the world does. So now you're going to give that teacher who's already suspended me because I'm Black, who's already put me out of the classroom because I'm Black, who's already given me a lower grade because I'm Black, now has the ability to shoot me because I'm Black. Nah, I'm going to pass on that, fam. This is a dangerous, dangerous rule. We should be figuring out how to get guns out of the hands of the people who should not have them. I agree with that. We should create space for people to engage in forms of self-defense. I will always be good with that. But what we can't do, what we will not do, what I will not do, is pretend that giving a bunch of teachers who already don't love Black people, potentially in the world don't love Black people. It's nothing about Tennessee. It's just an educated guess. And who's afraid of Black people and who have irrational narratives around Black people. He walks through bullets. Like that's what they said about Mike Brown and Ferguson when Darren Wilson killed him. If all that is the case, then it seems that allowing someone to have a direct physical control over my life, my outcomes, my survival is a hell of a bad idea as a Black person. So no, teachers shouldn't have. But even if all the students were white, it's the same thing. I don't want the teacher that's afraid of my boy or my girl or who hates them to now be able to shoot them and say it was self-defense. I don't think teachers come up with some diabolical scheme and just go around shooting kids. I'm not suggesting that. But people are like toothpaste. When pressure's applied, what's inside comes out. And if you're afraid of black people, or you hate black people, or you have an irrational uh, conceptualization of who and what black people are, all that stuff is going to come out in that moment. So that is a very, 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 very bad idea. It's not surprising because it's Tennessee, and that's the kind of thing that people want to see, because they're gun nuts and they believe that they're closer to safety if the people in Tennessee could have weapons, or they live in Tennessee and just want to be able to do it. Whatever the reason is, it's not safe, it's not healthy, it's not wise.